Hello, good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Sally Nugent and Ben Thompson.
Our headlines today. Good morning. It is Tuesday. It's the 28th of March. Schools in England could face further strikes after the largest teaching union urged its members to reject a new pay deal.
Staff are being offered an extra £1,000 cash payments and a 4.3% rise for most people next year. But the National Education Union says this is a real terms pay cut.
The government says it has engaged in intensive discussions and that the offer is fair and reasonable. Our education reporter Vanessa Clark has the details. Humza Yousaf is expected to be elected as Scotland's First Minister this afternoon following a vote in the Scottish Parliament.
Yesterday he was announced as the new leader of the SNP, while our Scotland correspondent.
Now, police have released CCTV footage showing the moments before 6 people, including 3 children, were shot dead at a private Christian school in Nashville.
The shooter has been identified as 28-year-old former student Audrey Hale, who was transgender. President Biden has called the incident a family's worst nightmare.
Our North America correspondent Nomia Iqbal sent this report from Nashville.
Nomia Iqbal there. Now, plans to help find permanent accommodation for more than 8,000 Afghan refugees are expected to be announced by the government today.
Many of them were brought to the UK after the Taliban seized control in 2021, but are still being housed in hotels. Well, our chief political correspondent, Prince Harry and Sir Elton John have made surprise appearances at the High Court at the start of their privacy case against the publisher of the Daily Mail.
Yes, they're among a number of high-profile people suing associated newspapers over years of alleged phone tapping and privacy breaches. While a reporter,
Now, a man suing Gwyneth Paltrow over a skiing accident says he heard a blood-curdling scream shortly before the collision. A court in Utah has been told.
76-year-old Terry Sanderson claims he suffered life-changing injuries in the crash and has accused the actor of being irresponsible. Our correspondent Louise Pilbeam has more.
Meanwhile, the Hollywood actor Orlando Bloom has visited a centre in Kyiv which provides support to children affected by the war in Ukraine. Now, if you're just about to step out of the house, will you need your coat? Will you need your brolly? Here's the person who can tell us.
Let's have a look at today's newspapers. I'm going to start. Shall we have a look inside the papers? And it's really annoying, isn't it, if you buy something and then you find out that it's worth less a little later.
Very annoying.
Spare a thought, maybe not much sympathy, but a thought for the boss of Twitter, Elon Musk. So he paid $44 billion.
Oh, that's a lot.
He says it represents a difficult and painful but clear path to a valuation of 250. So he's got his sights set on something much bigger.
Wow.
But there's a lot of change going on at Twitter. A lot of people are unhappy with the direction it is taking because
It's changing, for sure.
Yeah, he sacked a lot of staff. A lot of the people who might have moderated some of the content on there, they were fired too. So a lot of people are saying there's a lot more trolls and a lot more kind of angry discussion on Twitter than maybe it had in the past. But Mr. Musk says that's the only way to run it. He said he knew it was going to be loss-making, but nonetheless, he sacked 7,500 staff and he thinks it's put it on a better track to profitability, but apparently worth less than half. Had to lose 20 billion.
Yeah, so if you've lost 20 billion, what's the thing you really want to do? Run away.
Yes.
You can run away here on a cruise. Yeah, exactly. Look at this. This is potentially the world £260. You'll visit 135 countries. Well, £73,260.
I think per day.
That's
not
probably
too
quite
bad.
good value, isn't it? Should we
Should
go?
we look?
Oh my! I'm just not sure. Not 3 years on a boat.
That might. I mean, you've got to hope
I get
that the
terribly
people.
seasick.
You've got to hope
Ben.
the people on the ship with you are fun and nice people, because otherwise that can be quite. I mean,
it's a long time.
Talk about nightmare neighbours.
Yes.
Stuck next to someone you don't like.
Yes.
It's a long time.
A long time on a cruise.
Quite the escape, though.
Yes.
Imagine reacclimatising to the real world when you come off a 3-year cruise.
Yes.
Not being a solid land for a start. That's half the battle.
Would not work for me, I know that for sure. It is 21 minutes past 6. Now, a billionaire's son who fled to Yemen hours after the death of a student in central London 15 years ago has admitted his involvement to the BBC.
Yes, after disappearing following a night out with friends, the body of 23-year-old Martine Vick Magnussen was discovered under rubble in a basement. Farouk Abdulak was identified as a prime suspect and is still the subject of an international arrest warrant.
Now, for a new documentary about the case, he spoke for the first time to the BBC's Nawal Al-Makafi. But now, at 6:25, it's time to get the news, the travel and the weather where you are this morning.